Welcome to Mortgage MarketSmart. In this video, we are going to take a look at the HMDA analysis tile. So from our welcome screen, I click on the HMDA analysis tile and it opens. This is actually part of our dashboards or profiles series. So you'll notice that we can click on the three lines at the top left of the screen in order to give ourselves more real estate on the screen. All right. So we have our global filters. And the global filters are going to be used. We're going to start with the time period. So the latest HMDA, remember HMDA is historical data. So the most recent HMDA as of the making of this video is 2024. And we're going to select our MSA. So I'm going to pick Nashville, Tennessee, and hit apply. All right, once we've selected our market and selected our time period, we can go to the next tab, which is the Applications tab. So this is telling us at a glance that there were 87,528 applications in Nashville, Tennessee in 2024. Here was the percent that were approved, the percent that were originated, and the number of lenders with at least one application in this market. If I keep scrolling down, we'll see the loan purpose for each application. Purchase, refi, or other, and then the percent of total. And we'll see the loan types. Again, we'll see whether they were government or conventional in units and in percentages. And then finally, in which census tracts were there these applications in terms of, again, units and percentages. So that's the at a glance table on the left. On the right is a map of the Nashville MSA, or the Nashville market. And I can zoom in by scrolling up on my mouse with my mouse scroll and seeing how many applications there were in each county of the Nashville market in 2024. Okay, and then underneath is a way to see this information visually or in a graph. So this happens to be by race and ethnicity, but I can change this and say, you know what, let me look at this by action. And this will tell me how many denials, incompletes, originateds, unbooked, and withdrawals there were. If I look at it by, I can look at it by county, for example, and it'll show me that same breakdown, but by specific county. So the purpose of this chart is for the user to be able to visualize data in bar charts in case that resonates with the specific user. And I can do the same thing for originations, where we will see at a glance the originations breakdowns. And on the right, the map again, and this time it'll be focused on originations by county. And underneath, the same idea, being able to use the drop downs on the left-hand side in order to create a graph that matches what we're trying to see. Okay. Same thing with denials. So same thing at a glance, maps, the bar chart, and then underneath the grouped bar chart. So here, for example, in the denials, it tells us the reason for the denial by race and ethnicity. And finally, we get to the lenders. So this table behaves as a market share tool. So the market share in 2024 in Nashville. So we have the lenders, what institution type they are, the total number of applications they took, their share in applications, and their rank in applications. Same thing with originated loans. So the loan count, loan share, loan rank, and originated volume. So total dollars volume share, volume rank, average loan size, and as I start scrolling to the right, I can compare all of the lenders in terms of the percent of their applications that occurred in majority minority census tracts, or MMCTs, majority Black census tracts, majority Hispanic census tracts, majority Black or Hispanic, and majority Asian census tracts. The percent of their business done in low to moderate income, or LMI census tracts, and the percent of their business done in CRA, or Community Reinvestment Act census tracts. Now, what's nice about this table is that it allows you to compare against other lenders and against the market itself. So that first line is what the market average is. As I keep scrolling, I can look at the percent of apps that turn into refi, purchase, and other, or by government and conventional. And then as I scroll all the way to the right, I can see the rates: approval rates, origination rates, unbooked, denial rates, incompletions, and withdrawals. Again, I can save this information at any time by clicking on the share button and hitting the accept button right there. Okay, and then if I chose, for example, to select a lender, I can do so right here. So I can click on Truist and hit apply. And now we have our view of Truist in Nashville in 2024. And finally, if I go to the exports, the data export tab, I can see these are the loans associated with Truist in this market. So these are loan level transactions that we can identify and save if we want to. There's a ton of information in this table. As you can tell, here are the actions, the loan amounts, loan costs, interest rates, and so on. At any time, if you want to come back to any specific tab here, and what happens now is that this is meaningful for just this year, but if we wanted to look at trends over time, we just come back up to the time period and remove the 2024 time period. And now I can see over time what has been happening in terms of denials. And again, this happens to be for Truist. If I were to remove that, I can come up to the global filters, click on the remove filter button, and that will focus and recalculate and show me, hey, this is for all lenders, what's been happening. So the HMDA analysis tile really lets you dive in and get to the details of any market and figure out what's been happening in that market. Thanks for watching. See you next time.